Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey.
I don't know why I say good afternoon. Good day.
It could be
or
any
night.
time of day.
Good time. Oh boy. Hey, it's Graham.
Untime.
On time. I'm Alex.
And I'm Cameron.
Today we're going to do a Tap Tap Concede mailbag. We sent out the call on Twitter this morning for some questions, and we will answer your questions with our answers.
We will
This
A your
coffee
cues.
hasn't hit me yet. How are you all?
But first,
But first, let's crack a pack
I was
open.
going to say, Beej's impersonation of you on the crap shot was actually very accurate.
I'm garbage without my coffee.
Goodbye forever.
Wow, that die really went.
four.
Four.
There
Two,
are
three.
4 packs.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
What is it?
It's Oath of the Gatewatch.
Hey!
Very recent. This was given to us by Bob, a.k.a. Metalupus, at PAX South. Let's go back to the Oath of the Gatewatch. This will be good. We'll be able to make some
way back drafts.
some informed decisions this time.
Yeah.
All right. First up on the list today is Akum Flameseeker.
Go find some flames.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Excuse me.
Our amazing card recognition
There we
software
go.
took a moment there. So Akum Flameseeker, it's a 2 and a red for a 3/2 human shaman ally with cohort. Tap it and tap an untapped ally you control. Discard a card if you do draw a card. So cohort to rummage, pretty good.
Yeah, it was decent.
It was actually fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm super excited to play this card, which is really weird because it has like 3 of the best words in Magic in it.
I mean,
Right?
it's a 3/2 for 3,
Yeah.
which is actually totally fine. Like if you were in a Boros ally deck, this was fine. It's just a nice little aggressive card. And then if you wanted to be a little bit more control-y, you could use it to rummage, and it was fine. Like it was not an all-star, but it was totally fine.
Yeah, sometimes it dug me out of trouble.
How was Cohort in draft?
Cohort was actually pretty sweet in draft.
It seems like one of those mechanics that would be good in draft.
Relevantly, obviously this creature can't tap if it's summoning sick. But the creature that you tap with the ability can have come into play that turn. So that's super relevant. This is not one of the more powerful payoffs. Obviously, there's ones at rare that were crazy, but the ones not at rare, Ondu War Cleric was a 2/2 for 1 and a white, and you tap it another ally to gain 2 life. That was very strong.
Especially if you're tapping like Vampire Envoy.
Yeah, so Vampire Envoy didn't have cohort itself, but was an ally, and it was a 1/4 for 3 in black that when it becomes tapped, you gain 1 life.
The wombo combo.
So when you attack, you would gain life, but also you could just sit back behind this wall and just gain life. Like the white-black life gain deck used cohort very effectively. It was really, really good. There was a lot of good cohort cards. Too many to discuss right now. But next we have Dazzling Reflection. Right to the front. There we go. Okay, got the butter zone now.
Nice,
Dazzling Reflection.
Nice horns.
Right? It looks like a Patronus. It's 1 and a white for an instant. You gain life equal to target creature's power. The next time that creature would deal damage this turn, prevent that damage. So if you really have to, you can just use it to gain life. You can just say, yo, that 6 power creature, I gain 6 life. You can just do that. That's not a great use of this card, but it's possible.
No.
But I did see people board this in, or occasionally even made deck it. I don't think it's amazing, but as a single creature fog and also gain a bunch of life, it was a real surprise if you were racing.
Yeah, it seems like it would sort of like change who's in first pretty quickly.
Yeah. Ooh.
Still prefer it as Harm's Way, but you know, it's not the worst card ever printed.
What you got?
Got a card here for the Is It help Surge deck. There we are. Slip through space. Single blue mana for a sorcery with Devoid. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Draw a card. So this was, like I said, in the Surge deck when you're just trying to use cheap cantrips. A cantrip, for those unaware with the Magic lingo, is a card that draws a card.
Yeah,
And this is
specifically like a 1 mana card.
Yeah, and this is literally that. It's a single blue mana draw card, but it also makes a creature unblockable this turn. So this was pretty useful in that deck because you just want cheap stuff to surge into your more expensive stuff.
You know what this is? This is Shadow Rift, but you can't pitch it to Force of Will.
Yeah.
But you can block.
Yeah.
Is Shadow? Oh, it gives a creature shadow and draw a card.
Which has weird little implications in formats where there are shadow creatures, because then you can use this to block.
Right.
Yeah, just get someone's Looter Ilcore.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Doesn't happen often. But
No.
it's all right.
Next we have Kozilek's Shrieker. Big fan of Kozilek Shrieker. It's a 3/2 for 2 and a black with Devoid. And for a colorless, Kozilek Shrieker gets +1/+0 and Menace until end of turn.
That's pretty beef.
Oh, this guy gets damage in.
Yeah, like I was pretty happy to run like two of these guys, maybe 3 sometimes, depending on my pool.
I mean, that's the best part is that its ability is so versatile. Because if you want to just get damage through and they only have the one blocker, you can just pump it pre-combat, swing with Menace, they can't block it. Or you can attack with it and threaten to trade 2 for 1 with their creatures if they try to block it.
Yep.
By just pumping the power up high. Or again, like late in the game, man, Menace, I like Menace a lot, and it leads to a lot of interesting board states.
It's a pretty simple evasion mechanic, but it's real strong.
Yeah, it's about a mile deep with cards like this.
You get into the situation where you have 3 attackers and one of them has Menace, and they have 3 blockers.
And they're like,
and they're actually,
my head hurts.
No, you get to situations where they're actually dead. Because if they to block the creature with Menace, they put 2 creatures on it, meaning one of your other creatures has to go through unblocked. Or if they block if they don't do that, then the creature with Menace gets through.
Yeah.
Right? And it's this, I've had that happen a lot in draft where it's like, oh, wait a minute, attack with all, and then opponent spends some time moving blockers around and then going,
no, dead.
Oh, wait, I'm actually just dead. There's actually nothing I can do about it.
Well, especially if you get like, this guy at common, you'd really get into situations where you have 2 of them on the board.
Yeah.
Right? And Menace just gets geometrically better the more of that you have.
Got a good green common here, Netcaster Spider. 2 and a green for a 2/3 with reach. Whenever Netcaster Spider blocks a creature with flying, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn.
So like it trades up?
Trades up very well.
Delicious, delicious Eldrazi drones in the sky.
It's so annoying
Yeah.
to block when you have the Flyers deck and they put a Netcaster Spider down because it's just going to trade for any threat you have.
Yep.
Arg.
This card, Witness the End. It may not seem amazing initially, but 3 and a black, sorcery, devoid. Target opponent exiles 2 cards from his or her hand and loses 2 life. In sealed, this was very good. In this sealed format, when you ideally you wait until they have 2 cards left in hand and just get their last 2, and it's typically backbreaking because everyone's sort of building up to big plays.
Yeah,
and so
it's like they sandbag their good cards, and you're like, nah, and you're like, well, there goes my entire game plan.
Yeah, and it exiles them, so you can then use that. You can process them later. Incidental life loss is cool as well. But
this card just gets them.
It really does. Just get them. Yeah, running this or Myers Malice in this sealed format. Myers Malice was the Mind Rot with Awaken. Worked out very, very well. Occasionally, you might run it in draft. If you were in a more, if you were in, honestly, the blue-black Devoid deck, which I quite liked, could get away with running one of those in draft. But it, as like a 22nd, 23rd card, it wasn't.
Yeah,
didn't have to get in. Strong picks here. Boulder Salvo. 4 in a red, 4 damage to a creature, but only 1 in a red to surge it. Very good, very, very good. You ended up with turns where someone would like. Trying to think of a good example. 4 mana, Reality Hemorrhage, surge into Boulder Salvo, just kill both your creatures and you go home and cry about it.
Yeah, Surge deck, very explosive.
Holdout Settlement, this was interesting. So Holdout Settlement as taps for a colorless, it's a land, taps for a colorless, and for tap an untapped creature you control, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So this was kind of awkward fixing because you needed to have a creature out before you could use it for color fixing. But in the blue-black life gain deck that we mentioned before, Alex, there's the Vampire Envoy that when you tap it, you gain a life. So you can tap it to hold out settlement the turn you play it, and you can just sit back and at the end of their turn, you just go, I generate whatever mana and just incidental life gain here.
Got it.
Ooh, speaking of the blue-black Devoid deck, Blinding Drone.
Oh, yes.
1 and a blue for a
Ugh.
1/3 Devoid, and for a colorless and tap target creature.
Go into the light.
This is a very
go away from the light.
This is a very good tapper. It needs colorless to activate, but there's a lot of ways to do that, especially in the blue-black deck.
Oh, if you get like 2 or 3 of these in your sealed pool, you just nothing happens.
Yeah, you just
nothing happens.
You just sit there.
Oh, it's so good.
And then you can biff them with Kozilek's Pathfinder, which is next. 6 mana, 5/5. Just a big old guy. And for a single colorless, target creature can't block Kozilek's Pathfinder this turn. So you have to pay that for each blocker that you want to not be part of the equation. But
you just pay for their big creature, and then they're like, well, I have this 5/5 I need to block with all these chumps.
Exactly.
Get chunked.
Timber Gorge is one of the uncommon cycle of dual lands. Enters the battlefield tapped and taps for red or green. These were fine.
Fix it.
Hey, it's Storm Chaser Mage.
Oh, it's the best card in the set. No, like really, actually.
It's blue-red for a 1/3 with flying and haste and prowess.
Why does it have haste?
To make you hate it.
Because it's good.
Oh, this card. I've actually not been rolled by this card yet in Canadian Highlander, but I hear it's...
This is really good in Highlander?
Belly strong.
So when you said best card in the set, you mean in the bubble of Canadian Highlander?
Yeah, I think it... Well, it may have had implications in Constructed as well, but I don't know if there's actually a deck that uses this guy in Standard.
I don't think there's a standard deck. No. I think there may have been like a B-tier deck that used this in like Monastery Swiftspear before that rotated.
Yeah, people were talking about this guy making it into maybe like modern Delver, and it was sort of like, maybe. I don't know. I feel like maybe.
But yeah, I'm pretty happy to play this guy.
Good in the Surge deck, because you're casting all those spells, right?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like
good
his low power,
spells.
You need like 2 or 3 of them, I think, to really pay off in Sealed.
Speaking of good cards in red and blue, Devour in Flames.
Foosh.
2 and a red, 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker.
First time I read this, I thought it hit players too.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
I was so disappointed.
Only planeswalkers. But as an additional cost to cast it, return a land you control to its owner's hand, which is not really a downside most of the time.
Yeah, because you're returning a tapped land.
Yeah, or you...
It's Red Gush!
Or,
yeah.
Well, or like you...
Wait, could you never say Red Gush again, please?
Or you have a landfall trigger, or you have a land that does something when it enters the battlefield. This all seems fine. And our rare is, I mentioned some of the really good cohort cards, Alex. This is Drana's Chosen.
Hey, what's up?
3 and a black for a 2/2 Vampire Shaman ally. Cohort, tap Drana's Chosen, and another untapped ally. Put a 2/2 zombie into play. Tapped. So you just sit back and start churning zombies out.
Yep.
I am fairly certain that Drana's Chosen is very, very good in Limited, in Draft or Sealed. But I don't know, because everyone else is fairly certain that it's very good in Draft or Sealed, and every time I play it, it just gets killed immediately.
Yeah.
So it's a lightning rod for removal.
Dice to removal, it's trash.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, just like Tarmogoyf.
Just like Tarmogoyf.
Just like Tarmogoyf.
Dies to Doomblade.
Like, who needs a card that dies to Doomblade?
Well, this one doesn't, but yeah.
Holy shit, better than Tarmogoyf. Sold.
I'm glad we got there.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right, good work, team.
Write it down, everybody.
Good hustle.
Yeah. Alrighty. So, now, some questions from you on the Twitter. Question from Tim Post. What is everyone's Eldritch Moon conspiracy theory? Because we still haven't seen the set symbol. Is it invisible? Invisible Stalker confirmed. Yeah, you noticed that they...
Yeah, they didn't spoil the set symbol.
Yeah, presumably because it would be a giveaway.
Oh, okay.
Or they're just trying to make us think it would be a giveaway. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it'd be like a big invisible... That would be cool if the monster actually was invisible.
And this had no
Well, no.
symbol.
You know how the art on Ghostfire Blade?
Yeah.
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 Only imagine it was like the size of the sky, and you just see like all these cities being flattened by something that you can just make out the outline of it.
Oh.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we've talked about the theories on the podcast before. Obviously, Emrakul is a popular and strong and very likely theory. Merit Lage? Lage?
Lage?
Lage? Lugulio?
Madame Lage.
Madame Lage. is another popular Vorthos theory.
really
It's
feel
also
like-
possible that it's maybe a brand new monster.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really do like buy in. I didn't used to like it. Now I'm pretty much bought into the Emrakul theory.
I'd be pretty stoked,
especially
actually.
considering
Same.
like Nahiri, obviously.
Yep.
It's got history there.
Yeah.
The clue token that looks like a flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah.
I like. There's a theory. I mentioned this on the podcast once. I think there's a theory that there's some art. I can't remember the card, but there's this art of Garrick, and we haven't heard from Garrick in a while.
Yeah, what's he up to?
Well, he was corrupted by Liliana, right?
Yeah, by the chain veil.
Yeah, and Liliana's around on Innistrad, and there was this key art of him sort of like climbing over a log.
Yeah, in Garrick's wake.
Yeah, and there's these sort of purple tendrils are coming out from him, sort of, and so it's like, that's a possible. Though,
yeah, actually,
that would be wild if it turns out that it's Garrick.
Yeah, I think it's a neat theory. I think that's probably lower on the totem pole. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got he's got Mom's spaghetti, right?
He sure does.
But like, yeah, maybe he's just been sitting back in this forest. Nobody's heard from him, and he comes back, the size of God. You're like, oh,
yeah.
He's already
all he's been doing is like, we just check in on Garrick, and he's like, gotta get huge, gotta get swole, gotta get huge, gotta get swole.
It's like pumping iron forever in the forest.
Yeah,
he's got a Baloth in either arm, like.
Yeah, last time we heard from Garrick, he and Liliana went into the woods, and Liliana came out.
That's a good point.
Is the woods the Thunderdome?
Question here from, should I do Twitter names or at? Whatever. Question here from Isaac. Do you think they will ever make a Planeswalker colorless? Not generic mana like Karn, or even Splash, like for example, someone who's casts for blue and colorless.
I think it's probably inevitable.
Everything is possible, and actually that's better. Inevitable, I think.
Yeah.
Eventually they'll get there.
Yeah, it's an unused configuration space for a card.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think the time to have done that may have come and gone, because like who knows if Devoid will ever come back.
Well, they not Devoid, but the idea of colorless mana, because they only just introduced it, and they said that it's not going to be like around in every set, right? But that it could easily come back, and it doesn't have to be related to Kozilek.
Yeah, or the Eldrazi.
Yeah.
So we see like a Planeswalker that's like 5 colorless or something like that. Yeah. That would actually be hard to get to. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I think it's inevitable that Wizards will explore that space.
What is a question from Darth Rages. What interactions or new cards are you thinking will show up in the second set to Shadows over Innistrad? So Eldritch Moon. Any old favorites you hope make a return? I'm fairly sure they'll carry through
with the graveyard themes.
Survival of the fittest.
Oh, the flip cards. Yeah, transform cards.
Pretty sure transform cards will stay. Because we gotta get our legendary werewolf, everybody.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We gotta get our legendary werewolf.
Well, it wasn't Arlen Cord.
She can't be a commander.
She's a planeswalker. She can't be a commander.
Oh, okay.
Commander players want.
Commander players are like
Gib werewolf
froth thing. Like they are just like, why wasn't it there?
Oh dear.
We have to keep using Xenaghost.
Such a hardship. Such a hardship.
But yeah, like I think transform cards definitely come back. Like it's a very iconic thing. I don't know. I don't think we'll see flashback.
No, I don't think so.
But
I want I want to see Unearth come back.
Yeah.
I think that's a really simple, clean, in flavor mechanic that
Unearth.
we can see.
It's flashback for creatures.
Yeah. Well, my secret hope is that we get a Snapcaster Mage for creatures. So like something that's like 1 and a black, a 2/1. Cast a target creature gains Unearth, where the cost is its mana cost. Like that would be sweet.
Yeah,
that'd be.
I would love that. Who knows if they'll print it, but that's what I want. So, who knows?
They printed like 3 different cards that have Dark Confidant-ish abilities. Oh, not Dark Confidant. I guess 2 that do that, and 1 sort of Phyrexian Arena kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some pretty cool stuff in this set.
Yeah.
But yeah, like transform, graveyard mechanics. Anything else that's iconically Innistrad?
Yeah, I think
more zombies.
I feel like there won't be clues because theoretically,
like
it'll be solved.
Yeah, Eldritch Moon will be the solution. So I don't think they bring back the clue mechanic, but maybe something,
something
relating to it.
Well, yeah, some sort of mechanic related to trying to expel whatever evil shows up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like maybe the clues turn into like wards or something.
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe more artifacts you can like sack them to gain life or like
look down, look back up. The clues are now wards.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Although I kind of like the idea of the clues just getting more and more obvious.
Yeah.
Like there's just like a giant footprint.
Yeah.
With like embedded in the bottom, like the name of whoever it is.
What
Or
could
like
this be?
a blurry oil painting.
And Jason's
just like, it's like, I don't know, dude.
We had that happen.
Blurry oil painting.
We literally had that happen in a game.
Oh no.
Paul and I were playing Murdered Soul Suspect
Yeah.
on stream, and we were wandering around this museum, and there was like, you have to find this painting, and like the texture didn't load, like it didn't load the near texture. It loaded like the far map sort of blurry texture.
Right.
It was like, oh, okay, well, whatever, we got there. And then later, you're supposed to recognize this house.
Oh.
Be like, oh, it's the house from the painting. And Paul and I were like, really? Was it? Oh.
That's awkward.
Right, because we never actually saw the house in the painting. We just saw this blurry mess.
Lol.
Anyway. Roween asks, who does most of the deck building for the Community Super League? That's Cam and James and myself.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a Canadian Highlander episode. Mm-hmm. We're going to get Alex in on that one. But yeah, the Brains deck was you.
Yeah, I have to apologize for the name. That was my placeholder name, and then I went back and saw everyone else's deck names.
I didn't realize, I should have given it a better
Marshall's Hedron James.
name. Hedron James, the real MVP.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's so good. And ours was just, is it brains, right?
I don't know. Is it?
It's brains.
Okay.
I really should put Talent of the Telepath in the sideboard. That would have been hilarious bad.
Saramancer asks, trying not to use the word favorite, which planeswalkers do you like for their lore and which for their actual cards? Because, I appreciate not asking, who's your favorite
Actual
planeswalker?
cards, Garruk Relentless.
Liliana of the Veil.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I can go through and name all the powerful ones, right?
Yeah.
Like that I like for their cards, like
Well, there's
Liliana of the
kinda-
Veil, Big Jace.
Excuse me. I just want to gush about this guy a little bit because he's so cool and has all these good abilities, and they're very weird.
What does Garruk Relentless do?
So on his front face, he starts with what, 3 loyalty?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has 2 0 abilities and then a clause. The first 0 ability, he sort of fights a creature. So he deals 3 damage to a creature, and that creature deals its power back to him. And then if he has 2 or fewer loyalty counters on him, he flips. So if he fights something weak, he flips.
Yeah.
And as it happens, his second 0 ability is make a wolf. So you can make a wolf, fight the wolf, flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on his other
Or you
side,
can
he
just
has,
make wolves to protect him.
yeah. His +1 is make more wolves. These ones are
More different wolves.
more different wolves.
These ones have Death Touch?
Yep.
1/1 wolves with death.
Yeah, the
touch.
-1 is sacrifice a creature, tutor for a creature.
Whoa.
And then the -3 is like evil overrun, where your creatures get +X/+X and trample until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures in your graveyard, which you have probably filled by sacrificing them in the first place. He's just like a really great, synergistic, also kind of fair card. I like him a lot.
I think the card like that is not super powerful that I like the abilities on the most is Venser Sojourner. Venser the Sojourner. But like the character I like the most, I think, is now Kiora.
Yeah.
Just because she's such a bastard.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true.
Nice Biden.
Nice Biden. It'd be a shame if something happened
I'm
to
gonna have that.
I actually have an answer for best flavor one. Liliana Heretical Healer.
Oh yeah.
I love that card so much. So first of all, I love it mechanically, but I also love it flavor-wise because she's like this 2/3 with lifelink. This apothecary character. When a creature you control dies, you make a zombie and then she flips.
Yeah.
So the creature that died became a zombie.
Yeah.
And she
that tilted her out.
She learned to become the necromancer and
And then
got
she
the
roll up in the
squad,
club.
roll up
Well,
in
because
the
it was a
club.
monkey's paw thing, right? It was
Yeah.
like well, give your brother this thing, and then he won't be dead. And it's like,
Okay.
oh, great.
Oh, I see.
You got me.
And then she just has a million good abilities.
Yeah,
so.
but like, there's so many like good planeswalkers that aren't super powerful but are neat. Like, I really like Ral Zarek.
He's super sweet. I mean, his coin flip mechanic is really great.
Yeah.
And so in flavor with, like, is it?
Yeah.
Because it's like, this could be the nuttest nut that ever nutted.
Yeah.
Or you could do nothing.
Yeah. And,
So-
and either way, he's like, all right, peace, I'm out. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
you could -7 him and have nothing happen,
yep.
Like, positively 0.
which is amazing.
Or you could take 5 turns.
Yeah, I mean, that's statistically unlikely, but so is taking 5 turns.
It could happen.
Actually, this is a big question that we should probably actually have talked about as a main topic on the episode anyway, but here we are. Thoughts on the recent product or set announcements. So let's quickly touch on what those are. So they've announced the fall set, the next fall set, which is Kaladesh, which is going to Chandra's home plane. We first learned about Kaladesh in Magic Origins. So we're going to go there for a block, which I'm really excited about.
We've seen the first Planeswalker.
We don't know anything about we don't know anything about what her abilities are, but the Planeswalker, Saheeli Rai, Saheeli Rai.
We got the pronunciation, and now I've completely forgotten.
She looks like some sort of
she's
artificer.
She's actually in the Master Transmuter pose from
Yeah.
a different angle.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like,
and she has like an artifact that she's creating.
I'm excited.
Sort of out of her hand. So there's that.
It's like, we're reprinting Tinker!
On a Planeswalker now. The second set in the block is called Aether Revolt.
yeah.
Which
That's exciting.
yes.
Well, yeah, like I tweeted out, like, Thopter plane, Thopter plane.
What did you? What it was really
Shades
good.
of
What did you write?
Esper sneaking
Yeah, it was
in
Thopter
there.
plane, Thopter plane. I forget how it goes, but it was like, Aether Grid is self-aware, AI drones conduct warfare. Right? Like,
I found it. Thopter plane, spec by for the Thopter rain. Aether Grid is self-aware, AI drones conduct warfare. What harm could come from the Thopter plane?
Turns out a lot.
yeah. So, like, I don't know if the Thopter Revolt is either, or the Aether Revolt is either people, like, rebelling against the artifact ingenuity, or if it's, like, Skynet.
Yeah.
I want it to be Skynet.
I hope that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, you look at cards like Ghirapur Aether Grid, right? And it's like, the city is alive.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, the city of Ghirapur is a living thing, and the Aether Grid it's like, power system.
And you've got a Thopter.
antibodies.
You've got a literal Thopter network.
Yep.
We know about that, right?
It's eyes and ears.
So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
Also, they've dropped you see there on Ghirapur Aether Grid, they've dropped the
The ligature?
the ligature, the AE ligature. It's just spelled AETHER now.
Yeah. Huh.
They've
And
apparently it was causing
Rosewater
them-
was like, or was it Rosewater or
Aether.
he posted about it. Yeah.
yeah,
but,
and he was like, it's gone and I killed it.
yeah. It's been causing them more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
that's
in
good.
different languages and things, and typing it. So.
What else?
Do you know if they're also dropping other diacritic marks like accents and things?
I don't know, but I know that they're dropping the AE ligature, and it's going to be
like
reflected.
Limdul.
It's going to be reflected in Oracle text for anything else involving Aether.
Cool.
So that's exciting. Then they announced a Nissa versus Obnixilis dual deck.
What?
They announced.
I missed this.
Yeah, they announced Commander 2016 with 4 color commanders.
That's pretty nuts.
I
right
really
now,
want them to reprint, like, okay.
It's just the Nephilim right now, isn't it?
The Nephilim are the only, like, there's probably other ones, but they're the only, like, notable 4-color creatures, but they're not legendary.
Right.
And I know
They're
Wizards
not very
has
good
said
either.
they're not very good, and Wizards has said they should have been legendary.
Right.
So what I'm expecting out of the 4-color commanders is rebuilds of those creatures as good as legends.
I bet they're gonna have real weird abilities.
Oh yeah. Well, they already did have really weird abilities.
Like sand people.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot to talk about this thing from when we're talking about Kaladesh. I forgot to talk about the rampant speculation about it because Mark Rosewater a while ago said that a long-time design challenge that he's been butting up against, he's finally fixed in a future set.
Yeah.
And then when Kaladesh was announced, someone said, is this the set you were talking about? And he said yes, and people went, it's contraptions!
Like, I think...
And I don't know why they're quite that excited about it. I'm keen to see how contraptions work. But the rampant theory, rampant enough to spike Steam Flogger Boss up to $6 a piece.
Really?
Yes. Is that contraptions will be a solved thing in Kaladesh. So, for those who are unaware, they made this set called Future Sight, which was like cards from Magic's future, and they put a bunch of weird stuff on it.
A bunch of weird
stuff.
Like
really strange things that people were like, what? And the idea was to predict things that could happen in the future. Some of the stuff has been printed, like Fate Seal first showed up on one of those cards.
Delve.
Delve was on a Future Sight card, and then they finally did Delve in cons. This card, Steam Flogger Boss, it's a Goblin Rigger for 3 and a red. Other riggers you control get +1/+0 in haste. And if a rigger you control would assemble a contraption, it assembles 2 contraptions instead.
What?
Which is important to note that at the time that this card was printed means literally nothing.
Yeah, there was no other riggers and no contraptions.
There's one rigger, because there's a card from like the Dark called Moriok Rigger that because they made Rigger a subtype for Steam Flogger Boss, when they did the Oracle thing, they were like, well, I guess this guy's a rigger?
Yeah.
All right, you're a rigger now. And yeah. From Fifth Dawn. I thought it was printed earlier as well. Maybe I'm thinking of something
messed up.
So anyway, the point is, Steam Flogger Boss on its own is like a 3/3 for 4.
Yeah.
And that's all it's ever been. And people are like, what are contraptions going to be? And Rosewater said that this the way it's worded there, and like it's a challenge to figure out exactly how it's supposed to work. But now, we know that he's been trying to make contraptions work, and we know that he said that he solved a long time design challenge in this set. So people are putting 2 and 2 together. I don't think it's
concluding that Storm is coming back.
Oh no!
Storm is coming back.
I don't think it's an unreasonable 2 and 2 to put together either.
No. I mean,
we'll see.
Like you look at Kaladesh contraptions, it makes a lot of sense. So people are pretty excited to see how contraptions actually work out.
I prefer to think that he has solved Storm, and that we will see Storm as a playable limited thing, and then it will dominate Standard, and I'll get new Storm Modern cards, and. Yeah, it's going to be the sweetest format ever. Calling it now, Storm is coming back.
If he fixes Storm, then it won't be the Storm that you want. It'll be, like, not good.
Just give me
I love the ruling for contraption, or for Steam Flogger Boss. It says, contraption is a new artifact type. There are currently no artifacts with this type. There is also no current game meaning of assemble.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it seems reasonable. There's also like the same element, I think, that is going on with like the, what if it's Merit Lage speculation for Eldritch Moon, which I think is also a lot of people just trying to show how in the know they are.
I think this would be sweet if it was.
I'm on board the contraption train.
Before we leave the topic of the new sets, specifically the Commander one. So I don't play Commander.
Right.
However, the Commander sets have a peculiar attraction for myself and the rest of the Highlander players.
Oh yeah, because they print
goofball, weirdo, like insane cards that filter their way over to our format. And these are cards that could never be printed in Standard.
Oh yeah.
But they can print them there. So you get some really exciting, very strange
like Marin of
cards.
Clan Neltoth, right?
I know, right?
Right.
Just like the Stone Cold Nut, and just like even little removal spells.
But you should also
or like Mana Confluence, or not, Mystic Confluence.
Yeah.
You should be equally excited then about Conspiracy,
or Take the Crown?
Same thing with that.
Because look at Council's Judgment, right?
Yep.
Yep. So
Council's Judgment, very good.
That's not a new announcement, the Conspiracy Take the Crown, or the Empty Throne, or whatever it was called. They did like 3 different names in the course of a week because it was a thing that they were doing. Conspiracy 2, that's not new, but they announced a new product, which is a Conspiracy Draft Pack, which is just like 3 boosters in a thing for MSRP $12. So it's just, that's cool. The other product announcements they made was Fat Packs are changing. For one thing, the name Fat Pack doesn't mean anything, and so they're changing it to the set name bundle. So it's going to start with the Kaladesh bundle, which is functionally exactly the same as a Fat Pack, but instead of the 2 cardboard deck boxes, you get an additional booster and slightly fewer land.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Sign me up. Also, they're changing intro decks to be, because they said that those are the intermediary product between, you have like your like sample starters, which are like the 30 card decks that they give away for free, and then you have the deck builder's toolkit.
Yeah.
But the intro deck is meant to be the sort of the stepping stone between those, and they're replacing them with, they're calling them Planeswalker packs. And there's going to be 2 for a set, and they will actually have Planeswalker cards.
That are like the super numeral cards that come in like the deck builder toolkit sets, where it's like they reprint, like Sarah Angel and Shivan Dragon, and they are numbered outside the set, and they are standard legal, but they do not appear in sealed product.
Yeah.
So
new Planeswalker.
Yeah, so they're going to be like, an 8 mana version of Chandra, say, right? Weird. Like something big and splashy that like new players will love, but might not make a constructed splash.
Well, we'll see.
So that seems pretty cool. And I think that was it. The others that we already knew about from the Vault lore.
We knew about Eternal Masters.
And Eternal Masters is coming soon.
Which I'm still super
And I think that was everything they announced. Oh, also that they announced, this is how they're doing announcements, which is to say twice a year they're just going to go and announce everything all at once. So that's cool. I think those are really cool, and I hope that answered your question about our thoughts on them. Alex, here's a question for you. Well, it doesn't say it's for you, but I'm not capable of answering it. Question from Demullet. Clones in Highlander, worth it? Question mark.
There's 2 that are super playable, maybe 3. Phantasmal Image has seen a lot of play.
Phyrexian shapeshifter? No,
Metamorph.
Yeah.
Those are the 2.
Very good. Those are the 2 ones, and then it like drops off in quality really sharply after that.
Like mirror image.
What was your maybe 3?
Oh, what was that? Dax Duplicate, I'm told, is maybe playable, because it's like 4 mana. Because the problem with clone effects is that unless you're paying less, or like at worst case equal to the thing you're copying, you're not getting a great deal.
Right.
So stuff like, so the 2 that I mentioned are really good because they're very inexpensive. They copy something like Phantasmal Image especially is really good. Because like 2 mana to copy something, you're almost never going to be disappointed with what you copy. And the clause about it being destroyed when it's targeted is largely irrelevant.
Yeah.
And
in Highlander, if you're targeting something, you're going to kill it.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's like if you aim a Doomblade at it, it's dead anyway. It does mean that you will sometimes get blown out by a weird effect that targets in some way, but the mana cost is so cheap that it's great. And then Phyrexian Metamorph, same thing, super cheap mana cost. It has the added benefit of you being able to put it in any deck if you want to pay the life for it. And it copies anything, almost.
Yeah.
A lot of utility there. So it's those are the ones that get played in Highlander. I've not seen very many other ones. Sweet. Maybe Sakashima Student? Probably not. But those 2 definitely, the other ones sort of like marginally playable.
Steve Kappas asks a question we've basically already answered, which is how pumped are you guys for Commander 16 with the 4-color legends, not just for Commander, but for Canadian Highlander. So Alex answered that. Adam asks, what are some of your favorite underrated tribes in Magic?
Underrated.
I mean, by whom?
Yeah. I feel Merfolk is not getting its due.
I mean, I was gonna say zombies, but
yeah,
we're so close, Camp. We're so close.
Yeah.
I just need more 1-drops and 2-drops. Zombielander's gonna happen.
It hasn't happened yet.
No, it's so close. It's really
just
annoying
not
because
enough critical
it's like
density.
it's weird because like
they don't even have to be good; they just have to be there.
Well, the problem with Zombielander is like there's the suite of like lords is perfect. It's so good. It is missing low-end aggro creatures because there's a bunch that are really good and then they taper off in quality.
Yeah, it's
so
like
quick.
Carnophage, Relentless Dead, The one from the original Innistrad.
Gravecrawler.
Gravecrawler.
And then just
Dire Graphghoul?
Yeah.
No, come on.
And then like the 1/2 for 1, and then the ones that like
Yeah.
-1/-1 when it's bad.
Yeah.
Sarcomancy?
Yeah, Sarcomancy is still up there, but
Yeah.
like you get about 4 or 5 really solid 1-drops, and then it goes off. And the problem is that like a comparable deck like Goblins has like 1,000,000 playable 1-drops.
Sorry, like Relentless Dead isn't even a 1-drop; it's a 2-drop.
It's a 2-drop. So I need 1s and 2s.
Yeah,
we're very, very close. But at present, it's less a sort of like. I've tried building it as like a mid-range deck, and that might be better for the card pool
but you
that
think
it has
just
to work with.
Lose to other mid-range decks.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
But we're real close. There's some really sweet cards now.
Yeah.
But just need a few more.
I'm just going through some of these. A couple people asking about Steam Flogger Boss. What was the first card you ever drafted? I don't remember, but I'm betting we have it recorded, because I think the first time I drafted was with Jer on Magic Online. The first time I actually drafted. I didn't really understand it. And so it was either Scars of Mirrodin or Masters Edition 4.
I remember,
and it was a shit show.
I remember my first draft was with you guys at the Old Moon base, and we drafted Scars of Mirrodin in paper.
Oh yeah.
And I remember Paul crushing me with the 7-mana mind control effect that could take any permanent from Scars of Mirrodin. It was like an enchantment for like 6 or 7 mana, and I was just like,
Corrupted Conscience?
No, it wasn't Corrupted Conscience, because that was from Besiege.
Oh.
They gave it Infect. Okay. This, I remember, it was like a wizard standing on top of a giant worm with like blue lightning coming out of his hands.
Oh,
yeah. It was something like something Rains, I want to say.
Volition Rains.
Volition Rains.
Yeah, Volition Rains.
Something Rains.
And I was like, I passed
Roman
this
Reigns.
card. It seemed bad.
Yeah, it's well.
When it rains, it bores.
Wow.
Wow.
That people
have that's icy.
People have been showing up to shows with that
icy.
sign. There we go. Volition Rains. Yeah. 3 blue, blue, blue enchantment, enchanted creature. When Volition Rains enters the battlefield, if enchanted permanent is tapped, untap it. You control enchanted permanent.
I was like, huh, I probably should have taken this.
Yep. That's an uncommon.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Powerful magic.
Yep.
When do you concede, is a question from Rye, when do you concede to save time on the clock versus when do you keep playing in the hopes of drawing a solution? Are paper and Magic Online different?
Oh, that is...
If I have an out, I will try to keep playing.
Yeah, and if you could have an out, I will usually keep playing.
I'm very much in Marshall's never concede camp. Like, yes, clock is relevant. I find that I lose to the game before I'm going to lose to the clock. So I try to, like, you've seen me get pretty low on clock on stream. When I'm playing by myself, that's less of an issue because you're not like stopping and talking.
Yeah.
And, like running through the plays. You're just sort of playing the game. But that's by practice through Magic Online. Like you tend to get pretty low on clock when you're learning the program just because there's a lot to take on board. And not that the program is like, I think it could be designed better, but there's just a lot of stuff that it needs to do, like priority and triggers and how they stack and targeting and everything. It's just a lot of things that you need to interact with for it to work the way that it has to work. And so it's just there's a high learning curve. So I mean, if you get in a situation where it's like where the situation is when you're behind and you, like, say you've won the first game and you're in game 2 and, like, if you lose, will you have time to theoretically win a third game, right? Like, if you're a controlling deck and your games run slow, you have to sort of weigh, like it varies on your deck is basically what I'm saying, because it's like, my deck is really, really slow. I can and I basically am in an unwinnable scenario here. Maybe if I draw my single out, then this will be then maybe I can get there, or do I just concede because I think I'll have a better shot in the third game and I need time to actually get there? Right? I don't have a good answer. I've just discovered.
I concede early and often.
It's a complicated game.
Yeah, no, like it's. I have a hard time seeing a lot of my own outs, so I tend to just be like, I don't think I'm winning this game, and I would rather restart and try again, maybe with better draws.
I think,
unless your opponent's a pissant, in which case you keep the game going for spite.
Yeah, no, I agree, it's a mistake. Yeah. But then again, I'm also a guy who paves my tweets all the time and like throws away like sketchbooks with 5 pages filled in, right? Like, I like clean sheets of paper.
Right. I have opponents concede to me in situations where I'm like baffled.
Yeah.
That they would scoop. I'm like, this game was not remotely close to over.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what is in the rest of your deck, but based on the 7 cards I have seen, I can't imagine that the rest of it is garbage.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, when I say I concede early and often, I concede when like my opponent is presenting like lethal, right? And I don't have an out.
I wonder how
and I can
much...
save like, and I know that one draw will not save me.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder how much overlap there is with poker sensibilities, because I'm told that in poker you want to fold a lot.
Well, you can
if you don't have like a promising start, it's like forget it.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's not the same game, of course.
If you fold twice, you lose the match. in Magic, right?
Yeah,
so it doesn't work.
And folding in Magic means that you also you aren't losing anything if you play out in Magic, whereas in poker you can be out like money, right? If you go in on a weak hand.
Question from Jedi John. Are there any times in a paper draft where you opened your pack and wanted to drop? I've never had that happen.
Yeah,
I've never opened anything so crazy that I've wanted to do that. Question from Lindsay. What is your favorite card in your least favorite color? Now I have to think about what my least favorite color is.
Well, I mean, for me it's going to be blue.
Yeah, for me it'd be green.
Mana Drain.
Right.
I fucking hate that card so intensely.
No, your favorite card in your least favorite color.
Oh!
So if blue is your least favorite color, what's your favorite blue card?
Favorite card in blue?
Nah, this is why it's tricky.
I'm going to have to think about this one.
I mean, mine might be something like Deathrite Shaman.
I think mine
in
also
green.
may be blue. It's green-black, technically.
Well, yeah, but it's if you want to use its abilities, you need it in green.
I actually have no good answer. This is a great question, and I have no good answer
I
for
like
it.
Mana Gorger Hydra a lot. I mean, it's a very linear card, but it's a strategy I enjoy, right? Like, I kind of like the Miracle Grow creatures.
God, I'm really struggling for this one. There's got to be some blue cards that I like playing. I want to say something like, not Shadow Mage Infiltrator, Looter Core. Because, like, I dig that guy. I think he's cool. And,
I really like Life from the Loam.
Yeah. That's a goofball one.
Yeah.
It's very strange. You get the Strip Mine lock just right.
I've come around a lot on basically all the colors, so I don't. I guess blue is my least favorite, but I don't dislike blue.
Yeah, no, I actually don't dislike green. I dislike a lot of green limited strategies, I guess, which I find just kind of like, I suppose I'll win. But that's like, if I actually thought that, I would just play green and win. Well, and I lose.
The other thing is, like, I hate Mana Drain because it's a $250 counter spell that I don't own and I've never cast against someone. I'm sure it feels amazing when you blow them out that hard. But, like, it's that card that gets played against me sometimes on turn 2, and it's just like, I just lost the game. Like, they're going to counter my 2-drop and go turn, like, 3 Jace and a bunch of other stuff, and it's just like, it's over.
Yeah.
I'm like,
There are so many questions. let's. Oh, actually, this is Graham. How is being a newish dad with a busy job meshing with Magic for you? Oh, a heart from @MTG Parents. I did not know this was a Magic the Parenting. Oh, that's so cool. That's super cool. I play Magic Online. The cycle that we work on is that we put Penelope to sleep, and then I do work. Generally, it's work from between around 10 and 1 a.m. And then I wake up Kathleen and Penelope. We do what's called a dream feed, which you don't wake the kid up all the way, but you feed them so that then they will sleep for the rest of the night. If I don't have work to do, I'll play Mitgo during that time. And let me tell you, leagues are the shit. Leagues are great for this because you can, if you have time, you can jam through a 5-round league faster than you can do a 3-round draft. And if you don't have time, you can just play 1 round and be like, cool, back to work. You know, it's really, really good. What's the silliest, this is a question from Splash for Mirrodin. What's the silliest way you've won a game?
Ooh, I know this one.
Great. I think we'll wrap up here. I know there's so many other questions.
Okay,
Maybe we'll do some more next week.
I think I've mentioned this one before, but this was just so great. So I'm on Aristocrats, which is a deck that synergizes with sacrificing creatures and getting benefits out of it. My opponent's on Reanimator, and they cast Elishnorn.
Oh, yeah.
Which is ordinarily just like doomsday for a creature base.
That's just game over, isn't it?
Well, it's just like your creatures get -2/-2, so any X2s you play are just immediately dead. But I had Outpost Siege set on dragons. Okay. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. And I just played...
What is Outpost Siege?
Outpost Siege on dragons means anytime a creature you control leaves the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to a creature player.
Okay.
So I just played creatures into the debuff to ping them until they died. It's like, thank you. I do...
Yeah, like hurtling Outburst into Elishnorn with a death outlet on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Seems quite good.
Wow.
Now that I'm remembering it, I have one more... really silly situation that happened. My opponent was on Alurin, which is a really weird combo deck.
Yeah.
And they were baiting me with Academy Rector.
Okay.
Because they play out Academy Rector and it's just like, oh, if you kill it, I'm going to get Alurin, I'm going to be able to combo off. And I was like, I have a bunch of 3-drop creatures.
What's Alurin do? Sorry?
Alurin,
A-L-L-U-R-E-N, Paul.
Yeah, it's 2 green enchantment. Any player may cast creature spells with CMC 3 or less for free with Flash.
Any player?
Any player.
For free, okay.
Yeah. So it uses a bunch of 3-drop creatures in sequence to find a way to kill you because it like gets into like a bounce loop with stuff. But I had a bunch of creatures and I was just like, let's do this. Let's both cast creatures for free and mine will be better, and they were.
That's awesome.
So I was just like, you know what? I will kill your Academy Rector. Let's go. That was good times. I don't remember exactly what we played, but this is a weird deck.
Oh, sorry, 1L. My bad.
What about you, Cam?
I don't know how crazy it was because I think the favorite game that I've ever won was last summer on my birthday. We were playing, I was drafting Dragons of Tarkir online, and I was streaming it, and I got into like this awesome exploit deck with TTC, and I was just able to generate like these loops of like sacrifice effects and tutor up things, and I had the Dragons of Tarkir Reanimator spell that gives or returns it to your hand and gives something -X/-X, where X is the converted mana cost, and I had like a bunch of like scholars and familiars to sack, and the 1/2 soldier or warrior, when it dies, returns something to your, like regrow something. It was just sweet. It was sweet. I cast like Sidisi like 3 or 4 times. The other one was the free Rise of the Eldrazi draft that we got at PAX last summer, where I was actually able to put together the Kiln Friend deck.
Yay!
Yeah, and I won one of the matches in that by counterspelling something with Deprive, blowing something out of my graveyard. Or no, it was the only instant or sorcery in my graveyard. Getting it back with the red spell from Rise with Rebound that returns an instant or sorcery at random to your hand, and then rebounds.
Right.
Surreal Memoir?
Surreal Memoir. Got back the Deprive, deprived their next spell. It rebounded, got back Deprive again, countered another spell.
That's hot.
Yeah.
See, I've thought of another one already.
Buffing Kiln Friend the entire time.
That's really stupid.
Right? Like,
all right, go for it.
Sorin Emblem.
Okay. Which one?
The first Sorin. The creatures you control get +1/+0.
Okay.
Kobold tokens
So
from Care Keep.
So it turns them into 1/1s.
For lethal.
Wow. All right. I know I've told this one before, but I'll tell it again. A Commander game with, I was playing with Tally and Jer, and I want to say James, and maybe a fifth person, I can't remember. Tally casts Trade Secrets, which is now banned in Commander.
I can't imagine why.
And because this was a Commander, this was one of the goofball cards from the Commander decks, right? And it's 1 blue, target opponent draws 2 cards, then you draw up to 4 cards. That opponent may repeat this process as many times as he or she chooses. So I'm way back in this game. I am like super toast in this game. Not a threat, not doing well. I'm on my way out. And so Tally goes, all right, you can, I'm on mono red also. And Tally goes, okay, you draw 2 cards and I'll draw 4 cards. And then I'm like, and I just get to do this again? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, I do it again? Wait, I can just keep doing this? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I draw like 20 cards. I'm just like, screw it, why not? So she draws, like, I guess at that point, 40 cards and does some stuff and then has to like discard a bunch and passes the turn. It comes back around to me because what I drew was, what I had in my hand actually before she did that was Conflagrate. Which is a fireball that is, it's just it's X damage. So XX red.
No.
Conflagrate deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of creatures and or players.
I remember this game. I remember you telling me about this game.
Yeah, but you flash it back for red, and discard X cards. So I cast it for X, then flashed it back, pitching all this massive hand that I'd drawn. I killed everyone at the table. I just went, boo, 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 boo. I win.
Oh, dear.
So that's probably part of why Trade Secret, not that play, but plays like that are probably why Trade Secrets is banned in Commander.
Infinite card draw is, generally speaking, sort of busted.
Well, also, couldn't your opponent just mill you out?
Yeah.
Well, no,
it sounds like suicide.
Up to 4 cards.
Oh, okay.
Your opponent draws 2 cards, and
so
you may
could draw
up
0.
To 4 cards.
Oh, okay. So you can just stop drawing, but they can just keep drawing too if they want.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They can mill yourself out.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was sweet. Cool. Well, we had way more questions come in than we had time to deal with. So maybe we'll do some more next time. But thank you all for listening. As always, our podcasts are brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Do check that out. We very much appreciate it. Until next time, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.